Good morning. I only woke up like maybe 5 minutes ago, so I'm a little bit tired today. I didn't even stay up late last night. Maybe like 6:30 by the time I got to bed. There's an mostly open source linguistics journal that I get an email with a table of contents whenever they publish a new edition. I was staying up looking through that in bed. Open access. That's the word I was looking for. In the night. Or Plesiosaur, which we finished yesterday, so that has to be... Oh, and I was watching back through the VOD last night, and the way that the mayor was describing the bridge made me think that it was going to take 8 days. But no, it's just the 8th day. So, we should have a bridge today. But I actually did a lot of reading last night. I read about 90 pages of my linguistics book. I think it was 5 articles. Just like, I really just wanted to finish that book. I wanted it done. Most of the stuff that was left, the way that it was split up, it was, the things left were more practical, teacher pedagogy type stuff, which, like, is interesting, but is not the primary thing that I'm interested in as a, um, researcher. Especially for practical things that are this old. Like, most of these studies are from the 90s in this collection of papers. And that predates computers. That predates the internet. So the worries of an educator in the 90s are going to be with regards to like how a student is going to access information, how they're going to use a dictionary, how they're going to engage with and find level appropriate materials. Those are very different today. Very, very different. There may even be too much now. Like, especially if you're just starting out and you go on YouTube and you search for like Japanese N5 podcast easy listening, you're gonna find like 10 billion different videos, even like not counting all of the random AI Japanese learning slop there is. So there's a lot of that too. It's bad. I had to make an entire new YouTube account just to get the algorithm to stop feeding me random Japanese learner videos and start giving me actually real Japanese content. I could not find a way to get the algorithm to work with me. But it was really interesting. I liked a lot of the theoretical insights they provided. A lot of the studies they did were a little bit more... I think the author comes from more of a psycholinguistics background, which I don't have as much experience in. A psychologist. I didn't take any psychology, actually. I have... Yeah, there's our bridge. I have some understanding, like, minimal understanding of neurobiology, like how brain work for language, but not much beyond that. I come into linguistics primarily from pragmatics and philosophy of language type stuff. So semantics, meaning, implied content, the social functions of language, sociology, and those kinds of things. I don't want to talk to you right now, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I'll come back and talk to you in a minute. Yeah. So my experience as a linguist comes from a different background, and then I have focused primarily on modern second language acquisition reading research. And by that I mean things that are... Wait, hold on. I gotta clean up. Hold on. Hold on. Where's my perfect town? What happened? The only thing I did was plant this tree, but that would be a different message. I planted this tree without removing any of these trees. Just cleaning out the dump does it. And that weed. There shouldn't be anything on the ground. It would be really weird for there to be enough weeds in any 1 acre to impact the town rating. It's still here. I'll try chopping a tree if that doesn't fix it. But anyway, it's really cool. Good book. I enjoyed it. I primarily have been reading stuff that's more modern. Like... What are you telling me, sir? Oops. Okay, let's actually see. Okay, he doesn't actually say anything. So I'm guessing that adding this peach tree... Let me count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Oh, it did. It did accidentally go over. Whatever. I didn't see my golden spot today. So does that mean I broke my streak? That probably means I broke my streak yesterday. I didn't check after I planted the tree. What's that? That's a bummer. Picked like one of the only 3 acres in the town where that could have happened. That's unfortunate. I guess I should have built in more of a buffer for random stuff. Be planting flowers for weeds and, you know, all the other things. Anyway, what was I saying? Modern linguistics. Primarily things that are from, you know, the past 10 or 15 years. Firmly post-internet. Because you sure do not have any problem finding any amount of Japanese content to read anymore. Even from just 15 years ago. Like when I was learning French. I remember really struggling back in like 2010, 2009. I don't like that that's now 15 years ago. More than 15 years ago. I don't like that. Anyway. Back in that time period, I remember still struggling to find enough stuff that I wanted to read. And since I've started learning Japanese, that has literally never once been a problem. I have never been at a loss for things to read at any level. When I was first starting out, there's a billion different free graded readers out there. There's a billion different super easy manga out there that book clubs have already read and determined are easy. Now that I've become more advanced, there's literally no end of content that I can freely or cheaply access. With stuff like Bookwalker and visual novels just buy on Steam. Just a lot of visual novels just have Japanese support right out of the box on Steam. It's easy to import stuff now with proxy shipping services, so I can do stuff like this, play Animal Crossing in Japanese on a real, like, actual physical disc. Where is this gold spot, dude? Did I dig it up and just forget? I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But I do need some stationery. Insane. Because then also, a lot of the ways that people learn language have changed. People are How did I buy gummy? Yes, thick paper. I just want to see what these are. Also Atsugami. Teku Teku. Cute. What is Teku? What's it say? But like dictionaries are faster now. Because you look at all this old research, it's like, oh man, do you use a dictionary when you read? And it's like, no, you don't want to use a dictionary because it's too slow. It takes you out of the process of reading. Most of the time when they're talking about dictionaries and researching dictionaries, they're talking about like a physical dictionary that you have to go and flip through pages to find the word that you're trying to read. Where it takes like multiple minutes to do a word lookup sometimes, especially if you're not good at using a dictionary. That is absolutely not how dictionaries function today. You can look up a word in seconds with just normal tools. You can just type it in, and wow, there's the meaning of the word, and you can look at all of the etymology and related words and other words that use the kanji, and it takes seconds. It is not as much of a time commitment as it used to be. Yeah, I don't know where this spot is. It's just really interesting that reading a lot of this old research, you can see where people get particular ideas about language learning that they might have. And then be like, okay, I see how you arrived at this conclusion, but the words that they are talking about here do not mean the same thing that the words that you are talking about in a modern day. Like, use a dictionary, make flashcards, read. Read what makes you happy. But this book, it brought up Christine Goodall's cycles diagram, which I really like. The cycle of the virtuous reader. The virtuous cycle of the strong reader versus the vicious cycle of the weak reader. Where, you know, if you're not a strong reader, you pick up a book and you don't enjoy it, and so you don't read. And so that keeps you as a slower reader, which means that the next time you go to pick up a book, you're still gonna be a slow reader, not enjoying what you're doing. Reading slowly, not understanding, not reading a lot, which then reinforces all of those things. But if you start to read more and read faster, then you can understand, then you could read more and understand more of what you're reading and enjoy it more. And then that becomes a positive feedback loop. So, unfortunately, the best way to get better at reading is reading, because reading has a bunch of reading-specific skills that you can't really practice in isolation. But then, fortunately, once you get the ball rolling, reading makes reading easier. As long as you just keep doing it, eventually, you will get good at reading. I have no idea where this gold spot is. I think I'm gonna give up on it. That's like 4 laps around the town now, in different configurations. Not systematic configurations, but different configurations. But I am gonna pay off some of my loan today, I think. So I'm gonna go over 100,000 tomorrow. I want to do the full thing. Yeah, it's on the title screen. It's a pretty uneventful day. Found the rock early, found all the fossils. Nothing to do. I do work tonight, but I really don't want to work tonight. Yeah, but then after that, and reading a bunch of the abstracts from those, I also watched a couple indie and open and/or public domain art shorts. I was looking through stuff from 2004 for some reason, and I saw this guy appear on AnyList. I opened AnyList and saw this thing staring at me. This guy. This individual. And I was like, what could this possibly be? And I went and watched it, and it was like a 2-minute long claymation thing from the very earliest eras of YouTube. Like, this is from 2004, so it technically predates YouTube, but there is a link on YouTube that is 20 years old. It is from, like, February 2006 or something. And then I watched the sequel. This is Nendo no Tatakai, Battle of Clay. And there's a second one. And they actually, like, they have some pretty good, like, clay character animation. And character acting. There's some pretty impressive, bits of facial animation in particular. They're paced pretty well. Like, people hate these on AnyList. Like, the average rating of the first one is 31%. But I think it's at least like a 5 or 6. Same one with the second one. The second one I thought was better. It's really well paced. And some of the facial animation's really good. Really, really impressive, at least for someone doing claymation with a camera, like a point-and-shoot camera in 2004. And then some indie art project called Yukidoke the Thaw, which was a little freaky, but seen a couple things in that vein before. And then I went and I watched some public domain, like animation history stuff. So, A Wolf is a Wolf, Okami wa Okamida, which is a moralistic propaganda thing from the 30s. Which there's a Japanese animation film archive site. It has all of these things. There's a lot of these old, like, history of animation type stuff preserved, and you can just watch them online with English subtitles for free. Like I was saying, there is literally no shortage of content, especially for Japanese. You can just go, you can just do whatever you want. You can, yeah, sure, man, you can watch pre-World War II Japanese imperial propaganda cartoons with English subs and all of the resources that you would need to understand them. Sure, yeah, of course you can do that. Why wouldn't you be able to do that? This thing that 20 years ago would have been exclusively the realm of actual historians doing historical work. Not that I'm complaining. Absolutely not complaining. It's way better. It's so much easier to learn languages now. It's so much more convenient. And also there's so much more reason to do it, because that's a big thing for adults. Adults don't like doing things for no reason. They like feeling like they're doing something intentionally, and if they don't think that they're making progress, or they don't want to be doing the thing that they're doing, they tend to stop doing the thing. Because, you know, there's only so many hours in the day for you to be doing something as an adult. It's not, like, work. So something's not fun, something's not enjoyable, or you don't see the point in what you're doing, most adults will just stop doing those things. They have to have some sort of motivation, some sort of reason to be doing the things that they're doing. So if that's language learning, they have to see the value in learning the language. And the easiest way to do that is to have just immediately accessible value. Like, anime is right there, visual novels are right there, video games, music, they're right there. It's really easy to get someone hooked on that first initial bit of like, oh my god, I'm actually understanding a language that's not English. And once they have that amount of value, then people are like, yep, okay. I see how this goes. And then that can act as a motivator. But if that ever stops being useful, or they just don't want to anymore, they will just, they'll just stop. Happens all the time. Should probably play a little piano today before work. I might want to go to the store, but I'm gonna go to the store on my break, so I probably don't need to. Probably make it to my break with the amount of food and caffeine that I've had. I also won't start until 6 today. Is it 6 or 6:15? Check. Super late. Normally. And I'm hoping, really hoping, that this week will be better. This week will be kinder. Last Friday was absolutely god-awful. Okay, it's 6 today, 6:30 tomorrow. That's crazy. I mean, we're still gonna be there till 3 a.m. Like, don't get me wrong. It's gonna be a long night. But starting at 6 is better, because I skip some of rush. Which makes my life a little bit easier. Probably, hopefully, maybe. Oh, and I did finish my spreadsheet. I made my Donkagu spreadsheet, which I wanna show that off. Which I actually want this, I think. Yeah, there we go. So if I zoom in here, we can see I took the subgrades from this Japanese site and used that as a song list, and then went through and tracked my scores on every single chart in the game, and then here it splits from hard and lunatic. Which are not as impressive, but they're also harder. And then over here, it counts the total number of each grade difficulty. And then how many I've passed, how many I've passed FC'd, and how many I've all brillianted, and then we do spark lines, because I like spark lines. Spark lines are pretty. We're starting to get up there for total FCs. We're approaching 50% of the charts in the game. The 22s start to get a little tough, though. I was playing some last night, even though I was tired. There's some tricky stuff by the time we get to 22 and 23. Just usually the most of the chart is not hard. It'll just be like one tricky little transition here and there that has like shit miss potential. And when you're trying to FC every chart in the game, those little spots add up because you will shit miss on them, and then, you know, have to restart the song. And then I put All Brilliant on here, even though I'm not currently planning to really grind All Brilliance. At some point, I probably will try to do that to increase my accuracy. Just like get everything 20 and below All Brilliant or something, because I think that's feasible. Because realistically, even up to like 24, I can All Brilliant stuff. 25 is where it starts to get kind of hard. But there's just like a quantity. It's more about time for All Brilliance. If you play a chart 10 times. Like any of these charts, if I played them like 10 times, I could probably All Brilliant them. But not quite consistent enough at that kind of accuracy yet. Although it is getting better. I can feel my accuracy improving. And then I passed a couple more 29s last night. I still have a couple things that are graded easier to try to finish. And then I do have, somehow, like, I don't know how I passed this. This did not feel like a hard chart to me when I played it. I sight read a harder 29 when the DLC came out and passed it. And now I can't do that. Like, I can't pass this chart anymore. Because this is the Koishi Boss song from DLC 14, Darmaku Heroism. Some of these are just absolutely insane. History of the Moon is ridiculous. And then I'm still not that close to passing a 30. Like, I've almost passed this one a couple times, but the ending is really brutal. Some of these never happening, like, well, not never, but, you know, it feels like they're never gonna happen. I play them now and I'm like, that's incomprehensible. I don't understand how you play this at all. And I assume it will get better as I increase my scroll speed slightly, because I bumped it from 460 to 470, and now 470 feels pretty normal, even for going for FC stuff. So I may try bumping that up to 480 or 490, see if that helps with the note density. But I'm pretty happy with the overall functionality of this. Now it's just a matter of actually going out and doing things. Because I do absolutely want to pass every chart in the game. And I don't know, I can probably FC everything to 25 at some point. That seems okay. Maybe not everything to 25, because 25 still has STNC. This is not a 25, this is like a 27. The hard STNC chart is absolutely brutal. It is both a scroll speed gimmick chart and just way faster than everything else in 25. I think this is the hardest chart in hard. I only have like a 94% on this. And I just kind of don't count it when I talk about stuff like, oh, you know, I got everything in the 25 folder over this percent accuracy. I just ignore this because this is not a 25. Confident in saying that. Like when I was talking about Hollow Masquerade, I'm so mad, dude. I was trying to get all the 25s to 97.5. I got Hollow Masquerade to 97.47. It's good enough. I'm counting that. Hollow Masquerade also not 25. That's at least a 26. But it's like a normal chart. It's just dense. Has some funny chords at the end. But the rest of this, brutal. Anyway, I'll probably be showing that more at some point. As we do more grinding. And then I think I'm going to try to go to Waka on Wednesday or maybe Sunday. Because they're closed Monday, Tuesday. So I cannot go Monday, Tuesday, which is sad, because that's the days that I would ideally like to be going. So it kind of has to be Sunday or Monday, or Sunday or Wednesday are my two real options. But Sunday I think I'm going to be doing my piano stream. I still need to make a thumbnail for that and get that posted, but We'll see. I don't know. Long night today, long night tomorrow, so I don't know what all we're gonna do. But I think that's gonna be everything for today, so I can go finish getting ready for work and do some other funny little tasks before that. Thanks for hanging out. I guess we'll find out in a couple days if our streak got broken. Hopefully it didn't. Hopefully we can get our golden axe. But that's gonna be everything for now.